We started with less than 3 million, and when I left, we had over 39 million in assets. In providing loans, I developed a number of programs. I was very proud of a program I did for veterans to ensure that veterans could have access to um, uh, loans. We had a growing Latino Hispanic population in North Carolina. I developed a special program to reach out to Latinos and Hispanics and hired someone who understood the culture and understood the language. Develop a women initiative. So I think one of the things that I wanted to do was position those who had dreams, because I used to have a tagline, "We are dream catchers." I want to position those who have a dream, but have something in the way, and we want to help you overcome that, such that if your dream is become an entrepreneur, let us coach you, stay with us, and we'll prepare you to receive capital. And so I think, and that organization still lives today. Carolina Small Business Development Fund. That was Lenwood Long's vision, right? Lenwood Long Correction. It saved it from death. And then one of the things I noticed, there was a gap between white led and black led CDFIs. And what I did, I co-founded another organization to specifically focus upon how do you deal with the capital gap, which mirror, and let's be honest, the data show it, the growing what we call the racial wealth gap in America, and there was the same capital gap, and so I found co-founded the African American Alliance of CDFIs to help them grow and help each other and to do their work while we are black-led CDFIs. Members serve everybody, and so it's nothing racist about it. It's capital that's available for everybody that want a loan. And so I think in this environment, we have to understand that when you look at organization that's doing good for everybody, down home we say everybody, when we doing services that impact white, black, and brown, we ought to be cheerleader for those kind of things. And that's who I am, and that's what I am. My record will show that I have been service and design programs to help everybody to fulfill their dream, to scale their business, to grow their business in a variety of sectors. It's not so much who you are, but how well you're prepared to fulfill your dreams in a way that you can push forward and look at it at the impact of your business creation. What do? Some of you hire more people. You pay taxes, right? And you become pillars in your community. And when you have that kind of impact, hey, you gotta be a cheerleader.
I love that. I need to let that breathe for a little bit because you said a lot that is impactful, and I hope folks that are listening
Thank you.
here take
Thank you.
away from what he's talking about because I have small business owners in my family. My cousin, immigrant, owns a restaurant. My sister and brother-in-law have a construction company in Fresno, and so when the pandemic happened, it was eye-opening for
Oh
me
yeah.
because I
Oh yeah.
saw the whole process of PPP loans and
Oh
they
yeah.
had to wait months for them to get a PPP loan because they didn't have a last name. To your point, right? They didn't have a brand last name. And I said, "What is going on with our financial system? These small businesses, these are the pillars of the community. They're the cultural pillars of the community. They understand what's going on in their community. They know their community, and not
Right.
to mention." I always make the point for small businesses, especially veterans, is for the economy to grow, we need more people to be a part
We
of
did.
the process. And so what you're doing is right on target here because a lot of folks point like, well, we have these other for example, China or other countries that are growing exponentially. It's like, okay, well, if you want to grow America, then you need to get more people on the field so they can hit the target. And I think
Yeah.
holistically together, that's how we grow the economy.
Yeah. And let's face it. I'm gonna use your example of PPP. The administration at the time found out that initially they were using banks, and they understood banks didn't fully understand the cultural dynamics of the total community, meaning they only dealt with their customers, right, and didn't understand there were customers on the fringe who may not meet their qualification. And then CDFIs across this nation, the administration found out, was gap fillers, and they used them. And watch this, they outperform banks with lower delinquency and charge-off rates. And so, just our organization alone, and we just did a study of just 11 of our organization did $4 billion in PPP loans, right? And so when you look at the nonprofit sector who are doing lending, who are looking for and helping people who do not have the magic credit score, but we use this what I call the 5 C's of credit, looking at collateral, looking at capital, looking at capacity, and looking at character, right? And when we looked at your character, which is a combination of how you've been paying your bills, how you handle your cash flow, and if we see that look, your credit score was blemished by a traumatic experience that could have been medical, you could have had a large layoff, but you recovered. Banks will say, well, because you didn't meet that 620 credit score, you can't do it. But a CDFI would say, look, we went inside your record, right? We x-rayed you and we found out that there was something that prevent you from being a 620. But we see you recovered. And so we want to give you a chance to grow, scale, and be a pillar in your community.
I love that, because here's the thing, Lenwood, like a lot of maybe veterans or people of minority communities, they're innovators. They're some of the greatest innovators. And so why not invest in them so we can add more services, add more products to the economy? If they want to build Making America Great Again, or make more American products, then you need to get more American people on the field to do that. And I love what you guys are doing at the CDFI, because I think it's going to be a pillar for generations to come here, because there's a lot of small businesses or maybe startups that don't have that opportunity. And what you guys are doing, you're creating opportunities for them, and everybody wins in this sense, like to your point. Right?
I love it. And let me be clear for the record. These are not, CDFIs are not DEI. They do work for everybody, right? Anybody who want a loan. In fact, we have to understand that part of the work we do is about fairness. Equity is about fairness. Diversity is about ensuring that all Americans are part of what's happening. Inclusion literally means nobody is left out. And so when we think about these terms, we have to understand the full richness meaning of it, right? Because we're all Americans, right? And what's happened in the past happened in the past. It is how we deal with the now. I quote sometime Martin Luther King Jr. when he said that, when he was talking about how do we deal with issues, he said, you have to treat the day as it is tomorrow. And that's a philosophy that I have, right? Time doesn't wait for anyone. And we have to ensure that we do our part to make America great. America cannot be great if we leave any group behind. If we have disparate treatment for any one group. And I think that I am a part of a voice, maybe crying in the wilderness, but to make America great again means that everybody, regardless of anything, have an opportunity to succeed and become part of the American dream, whatever that American dream is for any individual. I didn't mean to preach that a little bit.
No, amen.